Hey there, Detroit sports fanatics. I'm Taylor Phillips, and welcome to Taylor's Detroit Sports episode 82 on Spreaker. Tonight, we're going to talk about the Lions' bye week. Oh, some more of it thereof. Well, actually, we're going to touch base on the Lions' wide receiver Calvin Johnson returning. There we go. Technical difficulties here. Also, we're going to touch on a few things Red Wings, including the assigning of Stephen Weiss to Grand Rapids and the game tomorrow night against the Washington Capitals in our nation's capital. Plus, longtime Red Wing great Gordie Howe being in the hospital after suffering a serious stroke. We're also going to preview the Pistons' 2014-2015 regular season as they get set to take on the Denver Nuggets from Pepsi Center in the Rocky Mountains. And also CMU, we'll touch on a little bit of CMU news as well, which is very serious as well. Okay, let me see here. Trying to there we go. Okay, so the Lions have confirmed that Calvin Johnson is expected to return for Week 10 at home against the Miami Dolphins. There we go. Written by Joe Thompson from thescore.com. While speaking at a charity dinner Tuesday, Detroit Lions wide receiver Calvin Johnson, the one they call Megatron, said he definitely expects to play against the Miami Dolphins following the Lions' Week 9 bye, according to Tori Petrie of the Lions' official site. Johnson has been sidelined for the Lions' past two games with a high ankle sprain and was limited and ineffective due to the injury in a third. Golden Tate has filled in admirably as the Lions' top receiver, racking up 305 yards and 2 touchdowns in his last 2 games. Johnson, along with Reggie Bush and the Lions' top Johnson, along with Reggie Bush and the Lions' top 3 tight ends, are all expected to return in Week 10, giving the Lions a much-needed offensive boost. See, the other two problems with the offense right now are Matthew Stafford's throwing accuracy and the offensive line's lack of productivity to protect Matthew Stafford in the pocket. But before I even read the last paragraph of this article, I knew that all those 5 players, Johnson, Bush, Brandon Pettigrew, Joseph Fourier, and Eric Ebron, those last 3 were the tight ends that I mentioned, would return. Would be expected to return. Because none of those 5 players are put on the injured reserve list and should be able to return. Because with that bye week, it gives the Lions the Lions hurt players, not injured. It gives the hurt players lots of time to heal their injuries away and get ready to play in a much healthier status. But the Lions, kind of weird thing for the old days, have won the last 3 games. The last 2 of the 3, they've won without Johnson, Bush, Fourier, Ebron, and Pettigrew. But they won't get Nick Fairley or Stephen Tulloch back for Week 10. Tulloch's out for the season with a torn ACL, and Nick Fairley is expected to miss 4 to 5 weeks with MCL and PCL damage in his right knee. And I'm also getting word that head coach Jim Caldwell says he hopes not to lose Nick Fairley for the rest of the season. But Ndamukong Suh has stepped up at defensive tackle. I also found out that C.J. Mosley is eligible to return against the Miami Dolphins. Justin Rogers reports that he is eligible but might not play. Rogers wrote, "The definition of 2 weeks remains somewhat unclear. Did it mean 2 games, or could Mosley return to practice following the bye, making it more of an 8 to 10 day suspension?" Asked for clarification, Coach Jim Caldwell Coach Jim Caldwell referenced back to the team's statement. I think the statement stands on its own. If you take a look at it, read through it, and kind of glean from it what you'd like. But we said 2 weeks, and in 2 weeks he'll return, quote unquote. If it's a firm 2 weeks, as Caldwell suggests, Mosley won't be back with the team until next Saturday. That's just 1 day before the team plays the Miami Dolphins. While he would be eligible for the contest, it seems unlikely the team would put him on the field with no practice or film study the week before the game. That's a concern for the Lions, who will be without starter Nick Fairley with a knee injury for the contest. Detroit has just 2 other defensive tackles, and Ndamukong Suh and rookie Karan Reed on the roster. The team will likely make a move to add depth at the position before resuming practice next week. And it can't be from the practice squad either. My opinion is, if you look around the entire NFL, in terms of defensive backs, who would you want the most as an additional defensive tackle to fill Nick Fairley's shoes? My chat window is always open. Here, I'm going to ask a question on my chat window right now. All right. There's your chat question. All right, that's it. The Lions host the Dolphins a week from Sunday at 1 o'clock on CBS. The Lions are 6-2 and have the sole lead in the NFC North after the Packers lost to the Saints in New Orleans 44-23 on Sunday Night Football on NBC. Let's get to some Red Wings now. Let's see here. The Red Wings assigned forward Stephen Weiss to Grand Rapids for a conditioning stint. Weiss has only played one game this year after missing most of last season with a sports hernia that required surgery. He'll play for the Griffins Wednesday and Friday before rejoining the Red Wings in time to make the trip to Buffalo for Sunday's game, according to General Manager Ken Holland. Weiss, at age 31, played just 26 games in his first season with the Red Wings before being sidelined by the sports hernia. He didn't play after December 10th last season. His only appearance this season was October 18th in a 1-0 overtime victory over Toronto at Joe Louis Arena. Weiss will remain on the Red Wings 23-man roster. 23-man roster while in Grand Rapids, so Detroit would have to make a roster move if forward Johan Franzen leaves the injured list this week. You know, send somebody else back down. Franzen skated in practice today for the first time since getting hurt on October 17th, but was limited in what he could do and doesn't think he'll be ready to play until at least next week. The Red Wings play the Washington Capitals, like I mentioned at the beginning of the show. That game starts at, I think, 7:30, right? Yeah, it's at 7:30. That's going to be on NBCSN with Mike Emmerich and Eddie Olczyk, possibly. You also hear that on the flagship station for Red Wings hockey on the radio, 97.1 FM, 97.1 The Ticket in Southfield, and the Red Wings radio network affiliates all around the state of Michigan. Also, there's been an article saying that the Red Wings aim to be more aggressive on the power play. I already read that in episode 80. The player on the current player on the current Red Wings roster that's currently on the Red Wings roster that might be sent down is Andrei Nestershil. An article about him says he's a work in progress who's trying to parlay skills and size into offense. It says his skills and size have kept him in the lineup for the Wings. But he knows he must provide some offense sooner or later to maintain his job. That's why getting his first NHL point and assist on Saturday was a relief. It was a little hollow, he said, because his team lost 4-2 to the Philadelphia Flyers, but it's something to build on. He said, personally, I'm glad I finally got a point, but I still need a goal. I had two good scoring chances Saturday, and I didn't bury it. But I think our line did a good job. We'll see if we're going to play together next game, quote unquote. Coach Mike Babcock played Nestershil Nestrashil with Riley Shahan and Tomas Yurko. They teamed up for the first goal. Yurko skated the puck in the zone before being taken out of the play. Nestrashil picked it up and made a nice backhand pass to an on-rushing Riley Shahan, who buried it. Nestrashil, the club's third-round pick in 2009, 75th overall, was a late bloomer as a pro, spending much of his first 2 seasons with the ECHL's Toledo Walleye. He earned a roster spot in the preseason over fellow prospects and 2009 draft picks Mitch Callahan and Landon Ferraro, and has beat out veterans Stephen Weiss and Dan Cleary for a spot in the lineup thus far. But he'll be in a constant battle to keep his job. Mike Babcock weighs in on his take on how Nestrashil has done thus far, saying, quote, I thought he was excellent early, heavy on the puck, made good plays. He hasn't been quite as good the last couple games. He's just got to keep being smart without the puck and being heavy on it when he gets it and make good plays. I think he's a work in progress like lots of our young guys. Nestrashil is averaging the least ice time 11 minutes 31 seconds along the 11 forwards who played in every game. That includes 2:53 per game on the power play. Nestrashil added, quote, I never experienced we, the second unit, would go 8 games with no goals on the power play. We had some chances, had some shots. I thought maybe we were going to get one lucky one and bounce off that and go on a roll, get more confident and get it going. But it didn't happen yet. We got to stay patient. The puck is not going in right now, which is kind of a tough thing. Eventually, if we're going to play well as a line, some pucks are going to go in, unquote. We have an update on Johan Franzen. He skated with the Red Wings today for the first time in 11 days, but still not at full strength. He was on the ice for the start of practice and went through a couple of shooting drills before calling it quits when the Red Wings began skating 5-on-5. He's out for Wednesday's game in Washington and wasn't sure he'd be able to play Friday at home against the Los Angeles Kings or Sunday in Buffalo. He hasn't played since October 17th in a 4-1 win in Toronto against the Leafs. He said he'll accompany the team to Washington and will take part in Wednesday morning's skate. He had skated on his own before testing the groin in practice, but wasn't in uniform before finally suiting up this afternoon. He said, quote, I've been just cruising around in shorts, seeing if it's still there. Today was a step forward, unquote. Got just about 20 minutes left here. Red Wings could use an offensive boost given that they're averaging two and a quarter goals per game, and their power play is 2 for 30 to rank 27th in the NHL at 6.7%. Franzen was skating on the Red Wings top line with Henrik Zetterberg and Gustav Nyquist when he got hurt. He had 2 goals and 3 assists in 4 games, and his 5 points are tied for third best on the team despite missing the last 4 games. So line number 1 will be center Henrik Zetterberg. Will be Justin Abdelkader, Henrik Zetterberg, and Gustav Nyquist. Line 2 will contain Tomas Tatar, Pavel Datsyuk, and Darren Helm. Line 3, Andrei Nestrashil, Riley Sheehan, and Tomas Jurko. In line 4, Drew Miller, Luke Glendening, and Joachim Anderson. Stephen Weiss and Dan Cleary will be healthy scratches in Washington. But now we already got word that Weiss will be sent down to Grand Rapids. So Dan Cleary is the lone healthy scratch on this Red Wings roster for tomorrow night. Defensive pairs will be Nicholas Kronwall and Jonathan Eriksson. Pair number 1. Pair number 2, Danny DeKaiser and Kyle Quincy. And line 3, and defensive pairing number 3, Brendan Smith and Jakob Kindle. Brian Lashoff rotated in and out. But apparently Lashoff will be the healthy scratch. But of course Jimmy Howard will get the start in net tomorrow night against Alex Ovechkin and company. The Red Wings and Capitals have 10 points each, and they're both 4-2-2. And they both played 8 games. They are on a 1-game losing streak in regulation, both of them. The Red Wings are 1-1-1 away, while the Capitals are 2-2-0 at home, 2-0-2 at home. The Red Wings are 0-1 in the shootout, while the Capitals are 1-2 in the shootout. The Red Wings have a +1 differential, the Capitals +6. The Red Wings have outscored their opponents 18-17. And the Washington Capitals have outscored their opponents 25-19. The Red Wings are 4th in the conference, while the Red Wings are 6th in the conference, pardon me. They are 4th in the Atlantic Division, behind the Senators, Lightning, and Canadiens. They are 6th place following the Senators, Penguins, Islanders, Lightning, and Canadiens. The Capitals are right behind the Red Wings. The Caps are in third place behind the Pittsburgh Penguins and Islanders in the Metropolitan Division. The Red Wings will look to improve their power play and try to win more face-offs. That's one of the keys to winning a game and converting on more power plays. And Henrik Zetterberg earlier said, we were afraid to lose the puck. We need to be braver and take risks, take more risks. Sad news to pass along. Longtime Red Wing great Gordie Howe suffered a serious stroke. MLive.com quoted it a pretty severe stroke. He at age 86 is in the hospital. He has been battling dementia for several years. He lives with his daughter Kathy and her husband Bob in Lubbock, Texas. He is known as Mr. Hockey. He spent the first 25 seasons of his legendary career with the Red Wings and remains the club's all-time leader in games played, 1,687, 786 goals, 1,809 points, 211 power play goals, and 121 game-winning goals. He's the NHL's all-time leader in games played with 1,767, 801 goals, ranking second, third in points with 1,850, and ninth in assists with 1,049. He announced his retirement in the 1970s, following the 1970 to 1971 season. He worked in the Red Wings front office before returning to the ice in 73-74 to play for the World Hockey Association's Houston Aeros alongside sons Mark and Marty Howe. He was inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame in 1972. He had also made a token appearance with the IHL's Detroit Vipers in the 1997-1998 season, the 1997-1998 season, playing the first shift of the game at the Palace, so he could play in a pro hockey game during a sixth decade. I have to admit, Gordie Howe is getting old, but I hope he hangs in there and stays alive. I really do. On to the Pistons now. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope says to his teammates teammates he's ready for the Pistons opener in Denver against the Nuggets. That game starts at 9 on Fox Sports Detroit tomorrow night. An hour and a half after the Red Wings start their next game in D.C. Pistons Caldwell-Pope, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope participated in the entirety of Tuesday's final practice before Wednesday's opener in Denver. Stan Van Gundy told the media KCP looked okay, but hasn't played a lot, but looked okay. He hasn't missed a step, still jumping around, flying around. He dunked on Spencer today. That was good to see. He's back to his old ways. And that slam dunk definitely proves that KCP is more than ready to take on the competition with his Pistons teammates. He will be matched up with Aaron Aflalo, a former Piston who proved a tough cover for him last season when he was in Orlando and used his strength to post up the rookie. Denver almost surely will go to that at some point Wednesday, but Aflalo, drafted by the Pistons in the 2007 first round, is going to see a different player than he remembers. Caldwell-Pope scored 30 points in his rookie finale and used the confidence he took out of that game as a springboard to a phenomenal Orlando Summer League where he averaged 24 points. It carried over into training camp and his first 2+ preseason games where he averaged 16.7 points and shot .467. That's 46.7% from the three-point line before suffering the injury on October 12th at Washington. He said his left knee feels better, and he's moving great, so he feels like he's back to 100%. The team had 2 good practices, so he thinks he's getting there. It's going to take a while, but he thinks that the first game will probably get him to where he needs to be and just carry on throughout the season. So that's very good news for the Pistons. Some very unfortunate news for CMU athletics and their football program. The Chippewas wide receiver Eric Cooper was arrested last Wednesday in connection with the theft of a cell phone. Dominic Mastrangelo and Jordan Hermani of CM Life report. Cooper is allegedly being charged with a misdemeanor that may carry a maximum punishment of 1 year in jail and a $2,000 fine. CMU Athletic Communications Director CMU Athletic Communications Director Rob Wyman confirmed Cooper is indefinitely suspended. Cooper will be back in court for a settlement conference at 2:30 p.m. Wednesday. He attended a party on September 28th, police said, during which he encountered CMU junior Tara Fracula. After the party, Fracula noticed that her phone was missing. On October 1st, Cooper posted to his Twitter account, quote, Who need a Galaxy S5, unquote. Once confronted by the police about the phone, Cooper stated that the tweet was in reference for a phone he was trying to sell for his sister. Cooper is the fourth CMU player suspended in 2014 as a result of an arrest. That's just unbelievable and tragic for my school. Senior running back Thomas Rawls missed 2 games after his arrest stemming from his role in a purse theft at the Soaring Eagle Casino. I don't know where the party took place. In July, wide receiver Andrew Flory and defensive back Ryan Arush were arrested after attempting to steal $500 worth of food and DVDs from Walmart. Rawls remains with the team. Flory was dismissed after violating team rules a second time. Arushi quit several days after his suspension was announced. Rob Wyman, CMU athletic. Yeah, I mentioned that already. CMU head coach Dan Enos will address the media following practice Tuesday. Again, Cooper will be back in court for a settlement conference at 2:30 p.m. Wednesday. I don't know what my school, its athletic department, and the football program thereof is coming to when it comes to legal trouble. But I pray to God that it never happens again with any CMU player, especially our football team. Stay strong and fire up, Chips. Chippewas Chippewas are 5-4 overall. And 3-2 in Mid-American Conference play. They're coming off a 2014 win at Buffalo, New York against the Bulls. They go to Eastern Michigan this Saturday at 1 on the Chippewa Sports Network, 95.3 FM WCFX in Clare and Mount Pleasant, and 98.5 UPS, WUPS in Horn Lake, and all the rest of the Chippewa Sports Network affiliates around the state of Michigan. That's going to do it for Taylor's Detroit Sports episode 82. Thanks for listening. I'll be back later tomorrow night after the Red Wings and Pistons stop playing. TTFN, ta-ta for now.